what you all experienced as fans and viewers of the show was anything that we related to on the set. And what I said to Ms. Marcus was, the fact that you all experienced what was going on for us through this glass block in your living room is a pretty extraordinary thing, because everything that you all feel and have felt about the show was generated on the set. It wasn't just a bunch of men and women doing, 12 hours worth of work, 15 hours worth of work. In the case of Margaret, Sarah, and Ron, 19 hours worth of work a day. It was this incredible family of friends and extraordinary contributors that just had a chance to do something that, once in a lifetime maybe. If I'm lucky, if people like Ron and Linda are lucky, we get a chance to have this experience maybe several times in this industry during our career, but in some regards, once was certainly enough. So, we talked a little about it, and one of the things that always I've heard people say, it's like, well, I know you're pretty funny and you tell a lot of stories, but was it really that way? And it's like, it was really that way. Everything you felt in your living room was stuff that we were actually experiencing on the set. It was a love fest. It's work sometimes. You're working in a warehouse, like this, no windows, and the door's really far off behind a curtain of smoke. But it was pretty happy times for all of us. So I got a chance after leaving the post-production area to live on the set and do that for 48 episodes, something like that. I know we did 55 episodes, 56 hours, so I was on the set full on for about 48 of those, or something like that. I never was good with maths. What's that all about, by the way? British, European thing, adding S onto the word math. Whatever. Further questions? Yes, Terry?
So did you, when you were growing up, you actually plan for a career like this, or how did you fall into production?
Growing up, that's a work in progress, by the way. Stop snickering, Ron. When I was a kid in Philadelphia, who else is from Philadelphia besides Ms. Marcus? Where are you from in Philly?
Well, I didn't get to stay there until I was about 9 years old, somewhere in South Philly.
Yeah, hence the accent. That's definitely not, because South Philly's like, yeah, forget about it, kind of thing. That sounds like it's got southern Georgia rolled into it as well.
Oh, wherever I happen to be.
Yeah, you're like a river. And where are you from in Philly?
Center City.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, rich white kid. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
So, what was I talking about? All right, thank you, Terry. When I was growing up, my mother worked at her brother, my uncle's beauty parlor. It was right next to this small movie theater in northeast Philadelphia, on Castor Avenue. Tyson Movie Theater on Castor Avenue. And I got stuck in the movie theater all day. I was like 8, 9. My mother was a single parent, and she would toss me in the movie theater when they started, I guess around 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I would sit in there while my mother was working the cash register at my uncle's beauty parlor all day, just watching, the serials and the first beat movie and the second feature, and they ran them once or twice, and I was there till 3 times. So I grew up. Just sitting, watching, as I like to say now, the lights flicker on and off in the dark. That was it. And I was fascinated with it. And at some point I realized, well, if somebody has to make it, why can't it be me? I went to NYU for a semester or two. I don't know, those were the 70s, so. I was living in Greenwich Village. And just things changed. I mean, being from Philadelphia, there was a groundswell of films that started to be making there, starting with, well, I mean, Rocky kind of helped it, but before Rocky there was Dressed to Kill, and then Rocky 2, 3 Blowout, Taps, Trading Places, and a couple other things. So I got lucky at one point going home Christmas and running into some people I knew who got hired on Taps. And I got a chance to work on Taps. That was Tom Cruise, and it's the 70s. Timmy Hutton and Sean Penn. It took place at the Valley Forge Military Academy, where they photographed that movie. And that was it. That was sort of like my big break into the movie business, was sort of just running around getting people coffee and sodas. Up until a certain point, I became a location manager in Philly, and Trading Places was my big exit film in Philadelphia. And then from there, you start meeting people when you work on the East Coast, especially. New York from Philadelphia is 90 minutes away, and the industry, most of the filmmakers that would come to work on all these films in Philadelphia were New Yorkers, and I kind of got in with a set of people that really liked me and embraced my wild sort of behavior and said, all right, take this knucklehead with us to New York. And then I transferred a lot of my work up to New York, and then eventually moved out to LA after 10, 12 years in New York, and got hired to work on Beauty and the Beast. Met a guy standing in line at the post office in West Hollywood. That's how I got the job on Beauty and the Beast.
Wow.
And I'll tell the story and give you a moral about this. I was standing in line at the post office. I came out to LA to look for a job. I was married at the time to a wonderful Italian lady. And we had just moved out to LA, and I was looking for just meeting people. I met and saw directors I worked with in New York, John Landis, and a couple of AD friends of mine, and nothing was popping, so I'm just kind of humping around looking. And I'm standing in line, and this guy in front of me is, have I told this story before?
No.
Really? So, there's this British guy in front of me in a suit, and he's like, there's Yanks, steps, maths, the whole bit. So, he kind of over the shoulder, Hollywood, everyone's like, people look at you and the first thing is like, what do you do? Right? What do I do? Dave, no, I didn't ask you who you are, what's your name? What do you do? Everyone's looking for their next basket of crumbs. So I said, well, I'm a location manager in the movie business. Well, what movies have you worked on? So we started, he was testing to make sure I wasn't like him, someone looking for work. So I said, well, the biggest thing I've done up to date is Trading Places. And he's like, my godfather, he was the cinematographer on that. Oh yeah, Bob Painter, alcoholic, right? Yeah. Taking nips of brandy at 2 in the morning. And so, he goes, oh, I guess you did work on that movie. So what are you doing here? And I said, I'm looking for a job. And he said, he was a lawyer at the time at 20th Century Fox. And he said, send me your resume tomorrow. That was it. Sent my resume over, and he called. He was a nice guy. We're still friends, Michael Lewis and I. He said, okay, my brother-in-law's a UPM on a pilot or something. You should go see them. I went, all right. So I go over and see this Lynn, I don't even remember his last name. He was a bit of he just worked on the pilot. He was the UPM on the pilot. Lynn something or other. He was quite a Hollywood poser. He's got that kind of cool, black members only jacket with the kind of Ferrari racing team thing. And I just arrived from New York, so I go in and meet this guy wearing a Harris tweed jacket and a tie and white shirt and pleated pants, and he's wearing flip-flops and sort of old torn up those bozo pants that people wear on the beach in LA, those bobo workout things, whatever. So that's how I got the job. He was like, I gave him my resume, and he was like, we don't really have any job for anybody with your experience here. We're just looking for somebody who doesn't know anything. I could do stupid. I'm from Philadelphia, so really, single-letter words would really help when you speak. So, we're just looking for someone to carry the director's script book around and get him soda when he wants it. And I'm like, all right, I'll take that job. How much does it pay? It was like $200 for 2 weeks. Wow. I pay you $200 for 2 weeks? Yes. Why make anyone that offer? Let's just call it, I'll just come in and hang out. And I took the job, and the reason I tell this story now is because, sometimes the most unexpected things happen when you're open to it and you're just sort of allowing yourself to sort of just listen to your own world without sort of looking at other people's and judging it, going, well, I'm not worth taking that job. I mean, I'm worth more than that, or, what am I talking to this asshole for? It's like, his stamps have that little funny L on it. I mean, come on.